Hey YouTube, so today I'm going to be talking about changing over my Durians from old enclosure to new enclosure. So you can see the new enclosure looks way better than the older enclosure. I did make a Durian video, so if you haven't watched that, go check it out. I talk about this system, but the main reason why I'm transferring over is because I'm tired of this tray that takes up so much space. It's really cumbersome, and the reason why I have it is because this isn't watertight. This is an assembled tank, if you will, and so it leaks. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, there's all the leakage. So I have to keep it in this tray. So I'm tired of the tray. It's also heavy because this is metal, and all the extra adage. So I figured I would go to this newer enclosure. It looks a lot nicer, slightly smaller, but not that much smaller. I think it's like about an inch smaller in each direction. But the Durians are small, so totally fine. And then also, since I did talk about this enclosure, figured I would say, hey, this is a better solution because you could get this piece of acrylic cut for you at size. Just measure outer edge to outer edge, and then go to a place that sells acrylic, like Taps Plastics or something like that. And then I'm sure that they can cut you that piece, and then you can drill your own holes, and then do your own thing to hot glue and put the mesh down or whatever. In my case, I have access to a laser cutter, so I just did inner dimension, outer dimension, so it fits nice and snug. And then in between the two pieces of acrylic, I put the mesh. But yeah, so see, it sits nice and snug. So I figured I would talk about the hey, this is a probably better solution if you want something like this rather than this, because this isn't watertight. It has this frame, so I had to finagle this system because I need something that opens up, rather than this originally was a slide top. And so if you're sliding something, you have a Mr. System, Mr. System's gonna hit and then you can't open it up all the way. So I need an open top. So how do I, move the Durians from the old enclosure to the new enclosure? So I use what I call the 3-bucket system, or 3 enclosure system, if you will. So I have old enclosure, new enclosure, holding tank. The new enclosure, I put new substrate. I put a new rock because I like this rock better. I put new moss in there. And then the mossy sticks, most of the Durians are on the mossy sticks. So I didn't put new mossy sticks. I could have, but that's why I use this 3rd enclosure. So, I get this set up with new substrate, new moss, new rock, and then new leaves. I put fresh leaves down. And then I take the old mossy sticks from old enclosure into the holding tank. So I put all the mossy sticks in here very carefully. And then I, set them up how they were before, set it up before. It's pretty similar, not exact, but pretty similar. And the reason why I have this 3rd tank here, instead of just taking them straight from the old enclosure and putting them in the new enclosure, is because if you look at how I have it set up, you can see, try to get the lighting good, this goes across, right? So if I'm gonna take this out first of the old enclosure, and now what do I do with it, right? I can't just put it in because I have it laying across other sticks. So, I could reorganize stuff, but I kind of want to keep it somewhat similar, kind of give them a somewhat familiar habitat. So, or, escaping, if you will. So that's why I have the 3rd tank. So I would take from the old, each piece, put it into here gently. And then this allows me to easily find any stragglers. So there was one earlier. I'll show you. I'll clip to that. There's a straggler right there. I take the big pieces from here, put them into the holding tank, and then I have another holding tank, if you will, where I have the rock, I have the old moss. And then as I'm also taking stuff, from here and putting it into here, I'll find little stragglers. So, you know, on leaves, so I'll pick the leaves up with my forceps. So example forceps, right? You know, like, oh, there's a durian on this leaf. So then I would pick it up, right? And then I would transfer it in. You know, I would transfer this in, or I have another holding cell, if you will, which there are durians in here that I found. They were at the base. So I replanted this plant because the old one got to be really limp. So at the base of that, there were some stragglers. So, you know, always check everything that you're taking out. So there's the stragglers. So yeah, you know, I have another holding cell. So like, oh, there's a durian on this, and I would put it in the holding cell. And then I'll just take this at the end and then I'll dump it into the new enclosure. Yeah, that's, you know, what I'll do. So as I'm taking stuff out of here, the mossy pieces, putting it into here, if I see any, you know, durians, I'll put them into here. And then I'll take this at the end and then dump it into the new enclosure. So once I have this all set up, right, I'll go back into here. So it does take, you know, time and patience. And then I'll just slowly, you know, sift through. Make sure that these aren't burrowers, so they're not dwelling in the soil. So they're generally on the surface. So I'm just, you know, making sure that I don't see any, you know, over time they might start to crawl around. So, you know, I would kind of corner them onto a leaf or onto a stick, and then I pick it up with my forceps and I'll put it into the new enclosure. Or I'll, you know, sometimes, depending, I'll grip the little isopods with the forceps, because these don't apply that much pressure. So it's totally fine to grab them. It's just kind of hard. And I still always feel like I'm going to squish them, even though I'm not. Even with the spikies, you don't really squish their spikes. But yeah, that's how I change out enclosures for my non-substrate burrowing isopods. Is I go from old to temporary or holding, and then holding to new. So let me know if you have any feedback in the comments down below. Any, you know, maybe you do something differently. I would love to hear about that. Or if you have any suggestions for what I do. Yeah, if you also like this video, hit that thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. And thanks for watching.